you ever been in a large crowd where you wanted to see something but couldn't because of how many people were standing around you? Maybe it was at a theme park or a concert. What did you do so that you could get a better view? This will tie into today's Bible story, but before we jump ahead, let's take a look at our big picture question. Is Jesus God or a human? As the Son of God, Jesus is both fully God and fully human. When Jesus was on earth, he was in a real human body. He ate meals, traveled, grew tired and hungry, and experienced joy and sadness. He was human just like us in every way except that he never sinned. That is because Jesus is also fully God, which also gave Jesus the power to forgive sins. While on earth, Jesus performed miracles to point people to the truth that he is God. Last week, we saw how he was able to calm a storm by simply speaking. Today, we will see Jesus' healing power and his ability to forgive sins. Jesus traveled home to the town of Capernaum. The people gathered at a house to hear him teach. Pharisees and other teachers of the law had traveled from villages all over Galilee and Judea. So many people came that they stood in the doorway, and there was no room for anyone else. 4 men came to the house. They were carrying their friend on a mat because he could not walk. They wanted Jesus to heal him. The men carried their friend up to the roof. They took off part of the roof above Jesus and lowered their friend so that he was right in front of Jesus. Jesus told the man, "Young man, your sins are forgiven." When the religious leaders heard this, they thought, "Who does Jesus think he is? He is being disrespectful to God. Only God can forgive sins." Jesus knew what the religious leaders were thinking. He said to them, "Is it easier for me to say to this man, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or 'Get up and walk'?" Jesus had the power to forgive people's sins. Jesus showed his power on earth to forgive sins by turning back to the man on the mat and saying, "Get up, pick up your mat, and go home." The man immediately got up. He picked up his mat and he went home. Everyone in the crowd saw what happened, and they could hardly believe what they had seen. They praised God and said, "We have never seen anything like this." Because of the great things Jesus had done, people wanted to see him for themselves. Large crowds gathered around Jesus everywhere he went. One day, as he was teaching in someone's house, 4 men brought their friend to Jesus to be healed. The man could not walk, but the crowd was so large they could not get to Jesus. So these 4 men tore a hole in the roof of the house and lowered him down to Jesus. They were determined to meet Jesus because they knew Jesus could help their friend. Jesus not only healed the man, but he also forgave the man's sins. In that moment, Jesus showed that he had power over all sickness, illness, and injury, as well as the ability to forgive sin. Why? Because Jesus is God. In the same way, Jesus has the power to help us when we are in need. Now, this does not mean that he will always answer our prayers the way that we want him to, but he does have the power to do so. You can know for certain, however, that Jesus will always forgive your sin if you ask. That's a promise. Now let's take a final look at our memory verse. John 1:18 says, "No one has ever seen God, the one and only Son, who is himself God and is at the Father's side. He has revealed him." Jesus has the power to heal every sinful heart of every person on earth. Jesus wants to heal our sinful hearts by forgiving our sin when we believe in him. Our greatest need in life is his forgiveness for our sin. Join us again next week as we continue to learn more about Jesus' miraculous works.